My phone's right here.
Okay, sorry guys. I was in the middle of eating a nugget. And I'm going to be eating lots more because I'm hungry. But yes, welcome back to some more Fiends, right? Although right now I think that's a false title.
What do you mean?
Because we're playing as Edgeworth. Because apparently after being fell off a bridge that was on fire into a river and got a very bad cold, he asked Edgeworth to defend Iris.
I think he did it on purpose. He fell off that bridge just so he wouldn't have to defend Iris because it would be too awkward.
No.
No.
Remember, the bridge fell apart. Remember that bridge fell apart.
Oh,
and
I'm well aware.
And it was up in flames.
I'm well aware.
But yes, anyway. So yeah, we finished our investigation. And now we're on to the trial. So we get to see Edgeworth on the wrong side of the courtroom today. This will be interesting.
Right.
I don't think I'm gonna get used to this. But I suppose there's only one way to find out, so take it away, Sean.
February 9th, 9:47 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 1.
Oh, hang on. Alright, Mr. Lee. I'm already messing up. Maurice feels that way about me?
Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. There's no time to be embarrassed.
I'm sorry. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing.
Worry not. And in any case, whatever it is that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him.
Does that mean Mr. Lee Maurice is the witness today?
No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand.
Sister Bikini.
She claims to have seen the very instant in which you carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Stonett, correct?
That's right. It wasn't me.
Very well then.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Why do you keep shaking that weird green stone at me every time you ask me a question? I don't know how this thing turns on. Yes.
I'm stuffing in my teeth.
There you go.
You are a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed...
Don't worry. I've made the necessary arrangements.
I see.
Iris, it is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I'm a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people, and to believe until the bitter end. That's what my friend told me once. I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself whether or not I'm fit to do the task I've been entrusted. He's like, I'm used to being a prosecutor, so let me know if I'm being a bad defense attorney.
Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands.
February 9th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 7. I just realized I'm gonna need this.
Need what?
Drink. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. You see, this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. I'm ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
No! No! Oh god, be bad!
As soon as we saw that whip,
Oh god.
we're like, oh god!
I have a feeling he might be coming back. I just didn't expect it to be so soon.
I mean, Miles came back.
And now explain why he chose her. He said he chose the prosecutor.
That's true.
He would understand what was going on.
He'd be like, hey, you know Phoenix Wright, the guy who made you question everything and showed you that, you know, getting a win isn't everything in life and, like, helped you grow as a person? Yeah, he's in trouble.
The prosecution stands ready.
And you are?
Franziska von Karma. Prosecuting prize.
Von Karma, you say? Perchance you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma.
Legends are a thing of the past. I am von Karma. That is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case.
You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you're imagining things, Your Honor. Miss Von Karma, do you have anything to say?
There is no such weakling as this man among those of prosecutor's office.
Oh yeah, that's the other reason why he picked her.
Why?
Because Miles can be in a lot of trouble if it's found out that he's a prosecutor, not a defense attorney. Remember, the last case, or not the last case, but the case before it, with Don Tigre, that whole case got thrown out because it was a fake defense attorney. And Miles is a fake defense attorney.
Yeah, fake-ish. He has worked on the court.
Yes.
He's worked in the court since he was 20 years old.
Yes. But he was on the other side. So he needed someone who would say, nope, don't recognize him. Anyone else, Winston Payne would be like, why are you over there? Aren't you a prosecutor? And Diego Armando, or Godot,
Right? He would definitely recognize him.
We're on the wrong side of the courtroom today, aren't you, Miles? What made you stop being a prosecutor?
Point taken.
And then the judge would be like, prosecutor? Wait, what? So he probably called up Franziska and went, all right, I need your help. Oh, By the way, also, you cannot say that I'm a prosecutor.
I need another bite.
There isn't. But I'm sure once before in this courtroom. Ah!
I told you, there is no such weakling.
What is that, a whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Bailiff, remove that whip at... I have no objection to the whip. You don't? The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee. But there is still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today.
This promises to be interesting, Miles Edward. I expected to face Phoenix Wright here today. But looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for, all this time.
Oh yeah, that's right. She always felt inferior to Miles. She was like, I'm a Von Karma, I'm supposed to be the best of the best, and yet you keep showing me up.
Miles Edward, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers.
He was like, whatever. I see you brought your flair for the histrionic. Allow me to add to the things I'm not sure about. People acting bizarrely in my court.
The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor.
Very well. Miss Von Karma, please give an outline of this case. With as little whipping as possible.
The murder victim is famed. Picture book author. Miss Elise Dunn. Her body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue.
The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. The court accepts this photo at the crime scene. Courtyard where Elise Donan was murdered. Okay. Oh yeah, let's go through our evidence real quick. We got the attorney's badge, received from Wright. He wasn't serious when he gave this to me, was he? Magatama received from Wright. Something about reading people's hearts. What utter nonsense. The victim's staff, carried by Elise Donan when she was alive, has her fingerprints on it. The Shichishito, the apparent murder weapon, has the victim's blood and the suspect's fingerprints on it. Hanging scroll shows Misty Faye, master of the crane technique. Iris's hood, received before the lights out bell the night of the crime, protects from evil spirits. Note to Iris, found in the main hall, maybe she dropped it. It says, salutation here. There is something I must talk to you about. I'll be waiting for you tonight at 10 at Heavenly Hall. Make sure you come unless you want your secret to be exposed. The temple map that shows the temple, the hall, and the inner temple.
There are two temples.
The weather data saying that there was snow with occasional lightning strikes. There was snow from 7 to 10:50 and lightning from 10 to 11. Lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45, so 5 minutes before the snow stopped and 15 minutes before the lightning stopped. Around 30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out. Meaning that the fire went out at 11:15.
Can't let her bite.
I don't know if the fire going out at 11:15 is going to have anything to do with it, but we're putting that out there. Occult New Year's issue has a picture of Iris and one sexy girl. The photo of Elise, which was taken by Lurice. I already know that we're going to have to point out the fact that the staff is missing the sphere. Iris's testimony: rang lights out bell at 10 p.m. and was then in her room until the murder was discovered. Lisa's autopsy report: she died between 10 and 11 p.m. from loss of blood from stab in the back. The body fell 10 feet after death. And the crime scene photo that shows her dead.
There's no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there is a witness to her crime.
Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney.
Is she really that sure?
Yes.
Witness, say your name and occupation, please.
Hold on here. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. Witness, please stand up nice and straight. Just... If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our back pain-plagued witness. Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please. Ah, that's much better.
Once again, your name and occupation, please.
Little old me? Well, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it? Bikini. Nice to meet everyone. But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now. Ah!
The courtroom is the garden of a holy judgment. Those with... What?
Lechery.
What's lechery?
Like pervertedness. If someone is lecherous, if they're perverted, it means like it would be like if a guy was perverted, they'd be like, "Ooh, look at the cute girl. Oh, she's wearing a bikini. Oh, she's so hot," and like stares at her.
Okay. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once.
You want me to leave? No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in summer. In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question. That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way dear little Iris could do anything like that. Let us hear what you have to say then. First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh? The boot threw me off. Night of the murder. That night I was helping an acolyte with a training in the inner temple. But, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So, I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long hot soak. It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back. That's when I saw it. So it was simply coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple? Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple. That sounds like a pretty important statement she just made.
There's only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at that first hurdle. Now, are you Mr. Miles Edward?
Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination. Oh, right, that's the thing I'm supposed to do.
That night I was helping an acolyte with a training in the inner temple. But
Can I remember?
Where's this inner temple?
well, see, conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, right?
We'll be the ones asking you questions, madam.
In order to do that, a place strong in spiritual power is required. There's a small temple across Dusty Bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training.
And how exactly do you help with this process?
It's all quite exacting. It can't be performed without a nun supervising.
Like a tutor watching to make sure while a child studies.
A tutor with a whip in your case. If that is the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple, where the murder took place?
Well, as you can see, my back likes to act up. Violently.
Violently?
That's right. It's no laughing matter, especially in winter. I can't hold anything heavier than a knife and fork during the cold months. Just being alive is like strict training.
On the night of the murder, was this fabulous bag of yours hurting again?
That's right. Raging like a bull in a pig pen. I almost fainted once or twice. I just knew that unless I warmed it up, it was going to finally finish me off. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple.
You left Iris to help. With what?
What do you think? The acolyte's training, of course. It was just past 10 p.m., so we were starting to enter into the training exercises proper.
Wasn't your place to remain with the disciple?
Well, the job is simply to watch over the acolytes so that they don't pass away.
Just to confirm this point again, that night, you met Iris in the inner temple, correct?
Yes. She's a gentle, honest girl. She's never once failed to follow my directions. There's no bath in the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long, hot soak.
Right.
So you returned to the Hazakura Temple in order to take a bath.
My back is to blame for everything. It's a do or be done in kind of world, after all.
How long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind me asking?
My, what a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. I bet your next question is going to be, where exactly did you wash? Now, this is why you have to watch the young ones.
What are you going on about? I was...
Pathetic, Miles Edward.
The lowest of the low. Is there some sort of kick me sign stuck to the defense's bench?
Now you know how Phoenix feels.
Right? He's realizing, he's like, oh my god. Like, Phoenix gets beat up all the time. I see why now.
Anyway, I couldn't afford to be away from my post for too long. You understand, so... It was after I finished, just as I was heading back. That's when I saw it.
The crime took place in the courtyard, correct?
When you go from my room to the main hall, you have to take a winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard.
That's right. In other words, it was pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her eyes.
Oops.
There was no complicated setup in this case.
That certainly seems to be true. There's indeed only one problem with this testimony. If I can clearly point out what it is, then I can begin to quantify just how good this witness's memory and observation skills are.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah?
It's right here.
Here? There. Okay. What?
Evidence.
Okay.
Her testimony.
Oh, you're right. Because Iris herself said, I never left the room. Witnesses had to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observation and memory, after all.
Well, well, well. Don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all. The head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
In that case, Miss Poncho, I'd like you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all.
No! She said that?
A defendant or a witness? Who is more likely to lie? Do you suppose?
Yeah, I thought of that too.
Wait till she's done talking. The defendant is simply lying to cover her back.
That is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. He's got a point.
But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie.
She does indeed have innocent eyes. Honest eyes. Wah!
All people lie, as my belief.
I have spoken. Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means, we must call your memory into question.
Dear, dear, dear. You're older than me and yet you want to play that game, do you?
Well, that isn't exactly what I...
My memory is perfect. Crystal clear, especially in winter.
Then, I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Miss Redworth, if you are going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick. Then please add your comments about Aboot Iris to the testimony, and let us return to the cross-examination.
That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but... Well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. Iris came to the inner temple. She was dressed exactly as she had been at dinner. There's no bath at the inner temples, you see, and I needed a long hot soak. It was after I finished, just as I was heading back. That's when I saw it.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I think I do too. What is it?
Whenever they add something.
Yep.
The cloak thing.
The cloak thing that she gave us? Right before the lights out bell? Huh. Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon warding hood, correct?
Of course.
I'm afraid that's impossible. Unless she had a spare.
That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wait a minute.
She's like, wait.
So hold it right there. Why do you have that?
That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights out bell was rung.
What?
You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, then the Iris she saw should have been missing this very hood.
Well, well, well.
She's standing on like 50 crates. It's not a bad feeling at all exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it. Like, now I see why Phoenix is so happy. Order! Order in the court! Witness your... Ah!
Sister. Sister. You have spare ones around the temple, don't you?
No. Spares, well, I do tend to make too many of them.
I see. A stockpile. A surplus of hoods, eh?
Each nun is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owned.
Then this is quite strange. Wah!
If there was a surplus of hoods, then she could have worn one of those. There is no contradiction here.
I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. The seeds of doubt. Witness, while I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this.
Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on the way back to the inner temple.
Those seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation.
After my bath. I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and Iris was, Mystic Elise, and with that sword of all things. Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces out onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window.
You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would have been much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in two in court. And me seeing it all from this very chair. Well, something like that. This judge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe. It's begun.
I was waiting for that. Hang on. I want to have an empty mouth. Can I have a drink? Ew. It's okay. Although this one isn't as bad. He doesn't say it like 5 times.
Right.
I would like the fool if I commented.
Commented?
commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine. Miles Edgeworth.
Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours?
Right, it is being annoying.
She could always slip into her other habit
No, no, no.
of foolishly fooling around like a foolish fool.
No, no, no.
More, or are you done?
Last one.
Hold on. Okay. I want to see if you had a half-eaten one. Whoop. Cool. All right.
Now to my bath. Well, I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple.
Did you notice the crunch, by the way?
I noticed two.
Two. I noticed one. How far is it from your room to the inner temple?
Let me think a moment.
How long are you going to think, Miss?
About 20 minutes on these stumps of mine. It's about 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Hasakura Temple. The inner temple is just beyond the bridge.
Still, you never made it back there that night, did you?
That's right. I was heading along the walkway toward the main hall. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and...
You say you heard a noise.
a thump, just like that.
That can only mean the sounds make them fall.
It's very quiet in the temple, you know. You can even hear the snow falling from the branches. Thump, just like that.
But then, couldn't this noise you heard have been the snow falling to the ground?
I never thought of that.
Oh my god, bikini.
Ah!
The next one's allowed gets a whipping.
Well, whatever the source of the sound, I looked over at the courtyard and... Iris was, Mystic Elise, with that sword of all things.
This is the second time that the witness has testified on to seeing the defendant, but some doubt remains in these claims.
Hey, just what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to...
The murderer who stabbed the victim with the sword. Sister Bikini, try to recall exactly who it was you saw, as clearly as you can.
Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Oh, now that you mention it.
Oh my god. Every time. They're like, I saw Miles Edgeworth shoot that man. Think hard. Did you see that man shot by Miles Edgeworth?
Actually, now that you mention it,
I wasn't even in that state at that time.
there was something awfully strange about her. Something that has been bugging me all this time.
Please, don't keep us in suspense.
Her hood.
Her hood?
That's right. It's coming back to me. Iris, she wasn't wearing her hood. I thought something was out of place, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she had given that hood away to someone, right?
Huh. You dug your own grave, Miles Edgeworth.
What do you say, Mr. Edgeworth? Is this testimony important? Right. This may initially appear to put me at a disadvantage, but I can't see any other leads at the moment. Your Honor, I would like these new statements to be added to the testimony.
Miles Edgeworth. you want to hang yourself, you need only to ask. I'll gladly lend you my whip.
Witness, add that statement to your testimony.
No problem. Now that you mention it, Iris didn't have her hood on.
You're sure about that?
Yes, after all, we always wear the same clothes. Ah, I don't mean because we're poor, you understand? It's our style. Yes, that's it.
There's absolutely no need to explain yourself.
Anyway, she looked different from normal, so that really stuck out.
Like me holding a whippet?
Whip it.
What's a whippet? Oh, that's a very pretty dog, actually.
Yes, whippets are very pretty, but they also take a lot of work to care for.
How so?
Because their diet is very specific and they need a lot of exercise.
Okay, so they have healthcare issues, kind of like me.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it says part of the hound group, whippets have relatively few health problems, other than arrhythmia.
Is that in English?
Whippets don't have many health issues apart from, you know, thump 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 thump.
Oh, what I have.
Thump 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 thump. Yeah.
Basically what I have. I have that kind of breed.
They can run 35 miles per hour.
That's extremely fast for a dog.
They can live 12 to 15 years. They can weigh 15 to 31 pounds. They're affectionate, lively, intelligent, friendly, quiet, and gentle. And girls are 18 to 21 inches tall, and males are 19 to 22 inches tall.
Males are bigger.
By 1 inch. But they need a lot of exercise.
Okay. Can you take my glasses? Okay. Like me holding a whippet puppy instead of my whip.
At least then it might bite you and not someone else.
Iris didn't have her hood on. I'm sure of it.
Very well. Now, please tell us about the victim, eh?
Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces out onto the courtyard.
The room the victim was staying in overlooked the courtyard, correct? Which means the victim's room was on the second floor.
No, Osgore Temple is a single-story building, but the mountain itself slopes downward,
Ah.
which elevates the main gate side of the temple and the guest rooms in the back to about the height of a 2-story building.
I see. And the victim was staying in one of these elevated rooms, correct?
Yes, I should know. I'm the one who carried her things to her room after all. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window.
No wonder she had a bad back. She's always carrying everyone's things.
Right. What makes you so sure of all this?
It's just like I told you earlier. I heard a noise from the courtyard, okay? Thump, just like that.
You're one smart sister. I'll give you that. The autopsy report states that the victim's body was covered in bruises, indicating a fall from around 10 feet in height.
You gonna mention the other part of that, Francisca? No? Okay. It appears that the witness was not mistaken then.
Yep, I'm more than just a pretty face, especially in winter. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
How many times is he gonna repeat the exact same thing?
There's only 2 of them working there.
What's wrong, Miles Edward? No snappy comeback remark?
It doesn't feel like she's lying. This is a very powerful testimony, too. She claims to have seen the instant in which the defendant stabbed the victim. There are only 2 things I can believe in right now. My client, Iris, and my own abilities as a defense attorney.
Which I don't have.
So,
None of which I really have.
you said you noticed 2 contradictions. What are the 2 contradictions?
Ah, yes. 11. This one, no, the first one. She said she got back to the inner temple around 11.
No. She said she finished her bath around 11 and thought she should go back to the inner temple.
Wouldn't she notice the bridge, though?
She was
That
a
would
bit
not be
distracted
the
by
way.
a dead body.
She wouldn't at least see smoke in the distance before she got there?
Mm.
No.
No. Because... here's Hazakura Temple. Remember, here's the cliff. Here's the bridge, so you can't see it from the Hazakura Temple. She's walking around back, and she sees the dead body back here. There's no way for her to see the burning bridge or the smoke or anything. She's looking back here.
Oh!
Yeah,
Okay,
she
then
took a
guess-
bath like here, and then walked this way, heard the thump, looked out, and saw the dead body.
Went, oh no, someone died.
Meanwhile, way over here, Phoenix is falling to his, almost death. But she's looking the wrong way.
She wouldn't at least smell the smoke.
No, too far away. Remember, on this is 5 meters. Meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 times 5.
I haven't gotten that high up in...
Break it up. 14 is just 10 plus 4, right? So 10 times 5.
10 times 5, 10 times 5, 50.
Okay, and 4 times 5.
20.
So 50 plus 20.
60.
50 plus 20.
Yeah, 60.
50 plus 20.
Oh, 20. 70.
There you go. So this stick is 70 meters.
It's just the exact amount.
Yeah. So it was far.
Okay, I guess that leaves the other one that I had.
Which is...
Not that. Not that. Not that. Not that. Right here.
Yeah.
Autopsy. Because if I recall, that's backwards of what she said.
Read it.
Okay, time.
No. Where I'm pointing.
Body fell 10 feet after death.
What's this word right here?
After.
After death.
Exactly.
Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say anyway.
Oh, please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter.
However, I think you're overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report?
The autopsy report?
The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed.
Death.
That's right. It says after death right here. The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall? I told you. She stabbed Elise and then went and lifted her up on the sword and then slammed her back into the ground.
He lifted her up 10 feet in the air.
Yes. Yes.
Definitely thought. You always say yes like that when you're like, I don't know. I'm serious. You usually say yes when you don't know something.
No, she totally just stabbed Elise and then lifted up her body on the sword and then slammed it back to the ground.
10 feet in the air.
10 feet in the air. Sword's probably like 7 feet long. So she's on the end of the sword and you lift it up.
I'd say probably 5 feet.
Okay. Then in that case, she had Elise's body and she went and flipped her up into the air. Like a pancake. Like stabbed her, flung her up, and then she flew off the end of the sword, went 10 feet in the air, and then slammed back to the ground, and she went and stabbed the sword back in her.
Question, why would you do that though?
I don't know. I'm just making crap up.
Like hell.
She said,
Wait.
ah.
Ah!
Order, order! The victim was killed and then fell. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room. Don't you agree?
That is a logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room.
And then threw her body out the window and jumped after her?
Okay. Thanks, I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was then thrown out of her window into the courtyard below.
Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Donham's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a blood stain, wouldn't you agree? Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood? What?
No traces of blood were found in the victim's room.
Your whip has just caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff beard. However, if there was no blood in the room, then you're claiming that... Wah!
I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure Your Honor is well aware of when a stab wound receives the most blood.
When it produces the most blood.
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade insertion.
Mm-hmm.
What is she getting at here?
She's saying very little blood comes out of the body when you stab it in, right? When does the blood come out?
When you take it out?
Exactly. So she's saying she was stabbed in the room, pushed out of the room, and then the sword was taken out.
Actually, yeah, I think Mom said something like that. If you ever get stabbed, don't actually take out the stab thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever would stab you is actually keeping all the blood in.
Exactly. It usually is keeping the blood inside your body. So keep it in there.
Which sounds horrible, but trust me.
Mm-hmm. Just like an arrow.
An arrow.
Mm-hmm. If you get shot with an arrow, you break off both ends. You break off the pointy end, and you break off the end with the feathers. And then you leave it in until you can get medical help. And then they'll pull it out.
Ah.
You break off both ends so that if you're walking around, something doesn't hit the arrow and, yank it to the side and cause the wound to be bigger. But you never pull the arrow out if you can help it.
Oh,
And
the
never pull it
arrowhead.
out backwards.
You mean keep the arrowhead in?
Not the arrowhead.
No?
No.
And keep what part of it in?
Arrowhead, fletching the feathers on the back. If it goes through you, like this, you snap off the arrowhead and you snap off this part. That way, if you're walking around, someone doesn't smack it on either side and, cause it to wiggle around and make the hole bigger.
Huh.
but you never pull it out.
What if the arrowhead is in it?
If the arrowhead's in it, then you just snap off this end.
Okay. That's what I was confused about.
Yes, never pull it out if you can help it. If the arrowhead's in, keep it in. And definitely the last thing you do is pull it out like this. Because think about how an arrowhead is shaped.
Right.
It's going to rip everything coming out.
Yeah, I know. Can you fix my glasses?
Hmm?
Can you fix my glasses?
Yes.
If you want to talk about when the blood, when most,
Yeah?
hang on,
Uh-huh.
that usually helps. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. With the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound. That's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking.
We have come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all the contradictions. I wouldn't say all.
Order! 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 I must admit that this is a probable version of events. I expect no less from Franziska von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point. It seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please! Remain standing on the crate.
Don't go selling me short now.
No offense, but look who's talking.
The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape. Especially my back and my mood.
Sister, please, give us your testimony. I'll give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here.
With the whip?
Oh boy. Alright, alright. Further details. When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise.
Oh my god! Bikini, you're killing us here. You're really killing us.
No. You know who's killing someone?
What?
Iris did kill Elise. She killed Elise.
What do you mean?
Iris killed Elise.
Why though?
Because she found Big Thump. Elise is on the ground with the sword in her body. Iris comes along. I'll help you. Pulls out the sword.
Oh. But
She
then,
killed Elise by accident.
but then who stabbed her?
That's the real question. So Elise killed her, but it wasn't. Iris killed her, but it wasn't Iris's fault.
She was
That's
a-
why Iris goes, I didn't kill her. Because she truly believes I did not kill her.
Like I didn't even stab her in the first place.
Exactly.
I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I woke, Mystic Amy was stabbing Mystic Elise to her back.
Oh, it was Mystic Amy who did it.
They think he's dead.
Oh, she's gonna be when we convict her. This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory.
Von Karma strive for nothing but perfection. Have you learned nothing since the last time I met you? Seriously, like last time I saw you, you were actually crying for once.
Right?
Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth.
Perfection is an impossibility, Francisca von Karma. And I'm here to teach you just that.
Even though I already thought you were not. Even though I'm pretty sure you were already taught that
Right?
many times.
When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place.
Wait a second. Okay.
What?
Nothing. Thought I noticed something. At that time, was the victim bleeding?
Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. So I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood. Not then.
I'm sure that you did it. Of course you are. The weapon was acting as a plug in the wound.
There's no way that that sword could plug up the blood.
You're right.
With all the ways it is, there's no way that that plugged up the blood. In any case, let's be clear about on one very important point. Did you actually see the incident in which the victim was stabbed?
Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise.
Think carefully, this is very important.
It's Iris we're talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body.
Might not be conclusive, but his testimony supports her theory.
The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard.
Oh, no, wait, but she died before she was thrown out of the room. So, Iris really didn't kill her, but Iris caused all the blood. Because Elise was killed, thrown out the window, and then Iris found the body and yanked the sword out.
Yeah, so she didn't kill her at all, really.
She was already dead, but she pulled it out, and of course that made the blood splurt everywhere.
I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth.
I've never seen so much blood before.
So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood?
That's right. Some of it is splattered onto Iris, too.
When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room. And her blood fleck. Clothing was nearly folded in the corner.
What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well? That seems quite conclusive to me. What should I do? Press this point further?
Don't know.
Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed. But now, you say you saw the victim bleeding.
Well. I say that what I saw is what I saw.
What did you see?
Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day.
I called it. Pulling the sword out? It's too bad that it was Elise that was killed and not Cindy Stone.
What?
It's too bad that Elise was killed here and not Cindy Stone.
I don't get it.
Because then Iris will be pulling the sword from the stone.
Oh, God.
Well, it wasn't exactly pulling. It was more like it came out.
Witness, you will add the statement to your testimony.
Oh, was that important?
More important than you can imagine.
I saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out.
I'm sorry?
Read that again?
I saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out.
What the hell?
The handle of the sword. So, up here.
Oh, okay. Then
Smoothly, you say? You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out?
That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mystic Amy. Mystic Elise was on the ground and Iris was stooped over her. The sword was buried up to the hilt. When Iris stood up, the sword in her hand just slid out of Mystic Elise's body. It slid out from that gaping wound. Ah!
It goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding.
Nothing out of place here.
Is that really the case? I can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place. That something which couldn't possibly have happened appears to have happened. Did you notice it? No? Okay. We'll press everything and see if we can figure it out. Now, on to what the killer did next. You saw none of it, correct?
Well, I was unconscious.
How long were you out for?
I don't know, 10, maybe 20 minutes. A young man with a very prickly looking head woke me up. By stepping on me, actually.
Not sure I like that method of resuscitation.
Well, I wasn't asking for mouth to mouth or anything of the sort. But I would have welcomed a more gentle awakening right about then, let me tell you.
I shall have words with the offender personally. What did you see upon awakening?
He did not see you.
And when I woke, Mystic Amy was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back.
He did not see you.
That's correct. Now, Mystic Amy, you're referring to the golden statue, correct?
Just stabbing someone with a Shichido, a sacred treasure, is terrible enough. But to then make Mystic Amy hold the blade.
Truly, a heinous,
Heinous.
despicable crime.
It is easy to despise something. Anyone can do it. However, there is something that cannot be done so easily.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it's doubly hard. Doubly hard. Anyway, what's the problem?
Exactly why would the killer set up this gruesome scene? Can anyone explain the reasoning behind that? No, I don't think I can.
There isn't always a logical reason behind why someone acts.
That's true, so true. In early spring, for example, I often find myself...
There isn't always. That phrase might come in handy someday. There are too many unnatural elements in this case. Why was it necessary to use the Shichido from the Amy statue as a weapon?
We're gonna hear him say that in court now.
Right? Why was the weapon ultimately placed back in the hand of the statue? If I can expose the flaws in this testimony, perhaps then I'll find the truth. So you didn't notice what it is?
Give me him.
So she looked across the scene, sword was in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out. So all the way up to here was stabbed into the body.
Yikes.
And there's the sword.
What are you getting at here?
Your confusion is making me paranoid.
Listen, I'm really bad at noticing things sometimes. You know that.
Sister Bikini, you were a reliable witness. At least, I'd like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here.
What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you.
When can we be done with her testimony? Like, seriously?
Once she gives up?
Although, we are on her third batch of testimony.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that witnesses usually only have 3 testimonies.
Mm-hmm.
So we should almost be done with her, thank God.
Oh, but I like doing her voice.
the character is annoying. The voice is fine. The voice cracks me up.
Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll let it slide.
I'm not a man.
Read your line.
What contradictions are you talking about?
In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Do you figure it out now?
No.
Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please explain your... Ah!
Explain yourself. Who is the judge here?
To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that.
Stabbing us here? What meaningless dribble? I, too, may appear to be weak and frail. Actually, you don't. You really don't, not to me anyway. Does she look weak and frail to you?
No.
I didn't think so. But I can crush men under my heel and make them weak. And should I so choose?
The objection stands. I whipped it a little back there, I must admit. That isn't the only issue here. If the sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. Really?
Well, what were
So
you
my theory's not even right.
What were you thinking?
If I take a sword and stab it into you, all the way up to the hilt, what's going to happen to the sword?
The branches would break?
No. What's going to be on the sword?
What?
Up to where?
Up to the hill?
Up to the hilt. Where does the blood stop on this sword?
Oh!
So I stumbled into the right answer, even though that's not even what they were looking for. But if the body is stabbed all the way up to here, why is the blood only up here? Why is there not blood all the way along here?
Yeah, like, why isn't this entire sword red if that was the case? But that's...
We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. Thank you. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. Okay, so we're going to go into that part. Remember how I said there's no way that would plug up a body?
Yeah.
The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding. Oh, also, I guess the fact that there's no blood on, like, 3/4 of the sword. But, you know.
Nothing more than conjecture. Oh my god. Can I have a drink?
In reality, the victim was stabbed with a Shichido.
No. Never. Never do that again.
In reality, the victim was stabbed with the Shichido.
Can I just do her line, please?
Do their voice. I'm waiting.
I was waiting for my throat to clear.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, the victim was stabbed with a Shichido. That is too hard to say. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly, and may still sometimes stop the blood loss.
I'm not finished. There's still one more conclusive contradiction. You've still got more? This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? Thank you! I was really concerned. I'm like, did they just not color it right? Like, did they forget to point out that there's no blood on the rest of the sword?
Ah,
I can just imagine Miles like, yeah, so there's no way it would come out smoothly. There's no way that it could have been stabbed in all the way to the hilt. Oh, yes, and also the fact that there's no blood on the rest of the sword! Anyway. If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword.
no!
Order! Order! Ah!
Bravo! Miles Edgeworth. Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that.
Oh yeah, Phoenix never would have figured out all that.
No, and this guy is supposed to be a prosecutor.
But what does this all mean? Well, remember, when he was a kid, he wanted to be a defense attorney, like his dad. You've proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but having come this far, there can only be one answer.
And that is?
The weapon used to kill the victim was not the Shichishida. What? Here we go.
And it's happening.
Yes! Yes!
Why are you so excited? Because you like to torture me? So boy, here we go. A foolishly foolish idea born from the idea of foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool.
Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think this sword was the murder weapon?
The blood?
Well, it's because Mr. Gamey was holding it.
Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. So the murderer set up the scene to look like that was the murder weapon. It influenced us to believe that the Shichishida was the murder weapon. That's why it came out so smoothly. Because it wasn't actually in her body.
It wasn't?
Oh no! I've been stabbed!
Okay, point taken.
Order! Order! Ah!
So maybe the Shichishida was not the murder weapon. Even if that was the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object.
That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question? Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found.
Does that...
Answer the question, Miss Von Karma. Only Miles can totally flip the tables on Francisca like this.
No evidence of that kind was found. I think I know where it is, though. I don't know what it is, but I think I know where it is.
Yeah?
The Heavenly Hall. We never been in there.
Oh, I was gonna say I think it's in the inner temple.
It could be in the training room, yeah. The place we couldn't go into.
Yeah, they could have hidden in the inner temple
It
and then
was
burned the
locked.
bridge.
It was locked. Remember the door to the training room?
Oh yeah, I had like the bars and stuff, yeah. Another mystery to throw onto the pile. A trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast.
Excuse me, can I say something? I just remembered something, actually.
What is it, sister?
I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was, it was just over there.
What exactly are you going on about, Abutia?
The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe... I think I might know where the sword was disposed of.
You what?
Well then. I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister.
Impossible. What else could this old woman have seen?
Damn, my glasses is off.
Location of the weapon. Sorry.
Location of the weapon. I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there, I saw tracks. Tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge. Less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all.
Witness, please, tell us everything you know right away next time.
Well, I'm not in the best of shape. What with my back and my age, you know. It's even worse in the winter.
Quite. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. There was even a snowmobile. Here's a photograph.
A snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory. Yeah, there's a problem with that.
Where?
The tracks.
The tracks begin in front of the Hadakura Temple and run all the way to Dusky Bridge.
Taking that night from main gate to Dusky Bridge. Nah. No.
Can I look at it again so I can actually see? Wait, that's the main gate.
Yes.
That's not Dusky Bridge.
No. They're saying that the track goes all the way to Dusky Bridge.
So, what do you see in this picture? I think go ahead.
Where's the snowmobile kept?
At the front gate.
At the front gate. So she's saying that someone took the snowmobile and drove it to Dusky Bridge to throw the weapon away. And then drove the snowmobile back. Did the murderer go in reverse to get to Dusky Bridge? Why is there not a track from where it's kept out to Dusky Bridge and then tracks coming back in? There's only one set of tracks. Meaning that the snowmobile was not there to begin with.
Wait, it was snowing that day though.
Right.
It could have just covered up the tracks.
With how deep the tracks are? No. Although now that I'm saying it, I do see that there's footprints leaving or coming in.
Or coming in.
But that would mean that the snowmobile was kept over at Dusky Bridge. Something's not adding up.
That solves your.
Pescador problem, sorry.
That solves your pescador problem, right? Yes. The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in the winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of a murder weapon.
Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon?
Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please.
Taking my glasses again. They're really slippy today.
Yeah. I don't like that noise.
They always make that noise.
Okay.
I saw the murder at around 11 p.m.
You're sure about the time?
Yes, I was worried about it after all.
Why was that?
Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially this time of year. Especially in winter. The acolyte was being doused in freezing water at the time. I couldn't very well take it easy in the bath all night now, could I? So at 11, I decided to leave Hasekura Temple.
Wait. Earlier she said she left at 10. Now she's saying at 11.
Make up your mind, woman.
Her estimation of the time seems reliable, at least.
Please, continue, sister.
And after asking that it be recorded, I went out to the main gate.
You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct?
Right, the one who trampled me.
It seems she's the type to hold a grudge.
There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent him to the bridge.
Seems right. He didn't even have a cell phone on him?
He had forgotten it at home, apparently.
What a nice boy. As always. Excuse me, that naive boy defeated you like 5 times in a row. Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my whipping hand too. How did I know she was gonna say that?
Anyway, I was really scared, and it was taking him a while to get back.
Like, I didn't even look at the text.
So I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell. And there, I saw tracks. Tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used.
As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited.
That's it. That's the only one we have. It'll run no matter how much snow falls.
Now, you're certain the snowmobile was there at the main gate when you arrived?
Yes, of course. It was parked in front of the gate.
So, she had already gone. Discarded the murder weapon and returned by that time.
I'm not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do?
Don't we always?
I need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question, was it still warm at that time?
Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean, eh?
Okay, can everyone stop saying what do you mean? What do you mean by Oliver?
I'm playing to a slow crowd here. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used.
Ah, I see. I never thought of that.
That's right. Overlook that too.
Of course you did.
Then answer the question, please, witness.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it.
Snow?
Yes, for some reason, only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow.
There wasn't any snow on it. Curses! It seems highly likely that the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh?
How long did it take to get to Dusty Bridge? By snowmobile.
It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those.
That snowmobile must be very fast then.
In that case, why didn't you use it yourself? You could have spared yourself some walking.
Nah, there's a reason for that. Have you got a moment for me to explain?
I think that's why the question was asked in the first place.
It was about a month ago. I was driving my beloved little snowmobile, happy as can be, and I hurt my back. I'd fetched some water and was heading back when I went and crashed into a tree. The tree and my back both went crunch. Just like that. Crunch.
See? She hurt her back. That's how she hurt her back.
Crunch. I haven't been able to find the courage to write anything since then. Anyway, the killer must have used it. Maybe they threw the weapon in the Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out.
Refresh our memory. How long were you knocked out for?
Like I said, somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes.
It's possible to get to the bridge and back in 10 minutes using the snowmobile.
I have to concede that is more than enough time.
Is that all you wish you could see, Miles Edward?
Iris could have done that. She could drive a snowmobile after all.
While it would have been possible, time-wise, one element remains out of place here. Oh, and what would this mystery element be? The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why did the killer do all of this? Why go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, when there are other methods? Too many unanswered questions. Your response, Miss Von Kama. Wah!
Turning to me for help over the slightest thing.
It is your job.
Why don't you think for yourself once in a while, Your Honor?
No. It was more, why don't you think for yourself once in a while? Your Honor. Because she was being rude. She was like, what are you, an idiot? Your Honor. What? She's as over the top as always.
Yeah, anyway. Whatever reason, the fact remains that the defendant could have done it. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point to me, Miles Edward. Another point to me, Miles Edward.
Another mystery to feed the fire. Was there any reason to go and throw away the murder weapon? Luckily, there's surely a problem with this testimony. Now all I have to do is start poking holes in this flawed account.
Don't know. What do you think?
Well, I still think it's suspicious that there's not tracks going from the main gate to Dusty Bridge.
Can we prove that, though?
That's the real question. And there is one other thing that's suspicious, but I'm not sure how I'm supposed to point it out, so I'm going to just try.
What?
No, okay. So she said that there was no snow on the snowmobile. Well, of course there was no snow on the snowmobile. She saw the murder at 11 o'clock, yes? It stopped snowing at 10:50.
Wait, I think you presented that the wrong time. Yeah, you didn't present it here. Oh, wait, wrong. Wrong place. Where did it say that there was no snow? Where did it say that there was no snow on the snowmobile?
Not in one of these. It was one we pressed. I'm thinking maybe it's one of those things where we gotta press again. You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct? See, this didn't happen before.
Yeah, it is.
Right, the one who trampled.
Oh, did we? Okay. I didn't remember a picture of Phoenix showing up.
I do.
There's no snow on it.
Wasn't covered in snow. Takes 15 minutes to get to Dusty Ridge. Less than 5 if you walk. I crash into a tree. Crunch. I was knocked out for 10 to 20 minutes.
I noticed it when I was pressing through again. I admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder.
You're finally accepting the inevitable, it seems. Marno's sure?
However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks?
What do you mean?
Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be 2 sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge, and those from coming back.
Ah, you're right.
Are you forgetting one thing, Miles Edward? No, you are forgetting one thing, Miles Edward. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. This is what I said. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction. Now, doesn't it?
Now, I see. While she was at the river, the snow stopped, leaving just the return tracks in the snow.
sorry, Von Karma, but I already tried that. Sorry, Franziska, but I already tried that.
Right?
What do you have to say now, my Vicar?
Is there a flaw in her theory? This idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks. There's a contradiction. The tracks of the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible.
Would you care to explain? Why is there a rude index finger currently pointing in my general direction?
No need. The evidence will do all of the talking for me. On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge in order to dispose of the murder weapon. The outgoing tracks were erased by snow. Or so claims Miss Von Karma. Miss Redworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh? Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow. You don't know the answer? So, what do we know? Murder took place at around 11 o'clock. Then, the murderer took the snowmobile over to Dusky Bridge, leaving a set of tracks. Then threw the weapon into Eagle River, and then drove back, leaving another set of tracks. But there's only a set of tracks coming from the bridge to the main gate, and not main gate to the bridge. Because it was snowing, right? Was it?
I know what you're going on here.
When did it stop snowing again? Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime.
Like I said, it was around 11 o'clock.
Of course, this means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It is the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder. The weather report? Snow started to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped at around 10:50 p.m. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up.
Ah!
Oh, order! Order! Very well, then. It looks like Miss Von Karma's claim has been snowed in. I'm so clever. Wah!
It's too early for this trial due snow. Mom Edward, how pathetic of you to rely on weather of all things. Answer me this then. When is the weather report ever correct?
No. You've got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast. This is actual data. Yeah!
Forecast data. All weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may still have been snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m.
It's true. We cannot be totally sure, eh? What? How did she pull that off? It had stopped snowing at Houseport Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this. It's come this far. There's no turning back now.
I think I know what. If you take a look at the murder crime photo, there's no snow falling. I don't see a single snowflake. And we're outside. Why? What is it?
So they're trying to prove that it was still snowing after the murder took place, yes?
Yes.
So after the murder took place, there's a dead body laying there, yes? And it's still snowing.
I don't see a single snowflake.
No, we're not talking about it still snowing when they take the picture, because they took the picture like hours later. We're not talking about when they took the picture. She was murdered at 11 o'clock. And they're saying it's still snowing at 11 o'clock. If it's still snowing at 11 o'clock, and there's a dead body there,
It would be covered in snow.
there you go.
You're right, I was that close.
You were that close, and then you're like, there's no snowflakes in the picture. No! Very well. I, too, cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony.
Huh. You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth.
Very well, then. Mr. Edgeworth, where is your evidence that it had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed?
The victim herself. We need to do stuff like that more often. To actually figure it out before we have to answer. That way we don't get stumped so much.
Right.
It would help.
Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed.
That's right. But proving that is...
Incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I am referring to the photo of the crime scene. The one that you provided, Miss Von Karma.
Thank you for that.
As you can see, everything is covered with snow. With just one exception.
And that is...
The victim herself, Miss Elise Donham. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It has stopped snowing when she was killed. That's why. In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph, there should be 2 sets of tracks.
Ah!
Order! Order! Just what are you... Ah!
Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all of the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. From the tracks left, it can be understood that they were heading for Dusky Ridge. At that time, it was still snowing.
Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by snow.
Then when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained.
Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me.
What's that, sister?
There's only one key for the snowmobile.
Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. The key was found in her room after the murder.
Yeah, after the murder. So, what I'm thinking is, remember, she was thrown out the window after she was murdered. So she got murdered way earlier. Thrown out the window. And then Bikini saw Iris yanking the sword out. That's why I had her fingerprints on it. But the murderer had already left in the snowmobile to drop the weapon in the river. And then it stopped snowing. And so they came back. But their tracks from earlier were already gone.
I see.
Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple.
But Iris said that she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance.
The snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge. So, she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot.
You said bridge.
Yeah, bridge.
You said bridge.
Well, it was cold. Especially in winter.
Are you ever gonna
No.
let it-
I have spoken. That sounds right. But what's odd is, when I left Iris and returned to Hazakura Temple, the snowmobile wasn't there. I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge.
You must have just failed to see it, sister.
Maybe. But when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too.
But that is impossible.
I'm confused.
Order in the court. What does this all mean?
So they're saying Bikini is here. She goes, yeah, I need to go soak my back. So Iris uses the snowmobile to here, parks it, and heads over. Tag team to Bikini. They tag off. Bikini comes back. Snowmobile is back here already.
Someone must have taken it.
Yes. So she got there, went and had her bath, and then, she came back. Snowmobile had the tracks coming from Dusky Bridge there, but none coming back. Meaning that between Bikini leaving here and heading back, then the murder happened. Then they took the snowmobile over, threw the weapon in, came back, drove back, but it stopped snowing between when they got there to there and there to there. And then they just tossed the key in Iris's room.
That actually makes sense.
Or my theory is right, and she thought it was Iris, but actually Iris is Dahlia's twin sister.
I still think that's a bit too far-fetched.
You sure? We've had sisters before.
Yeah, but a little too far-fetched. Like, it's not the most made-up thing I've ever heard. Like, throwing a dead body that's already on a sword up in the air.
I was making that up as a joke, Kat.
I know, I'm just saying.
Continue.
Mm.
So then what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should be two sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. I never thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble. I think we've learned all we can from this witness.
Yes, I've nothing more to add. I've told you everything that I know.
You
But-
sure?
But then, that still leaves us with the same problem. If only there was someone, a witness who could testify to having seen the snowmobile. A witness, huh? Was there no one out walking, perhaps, near Dusky Bridge on that night?
I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that.
An idiot, huh?
An idiot, you say?
Unless they had something really important to do.
Something really important to, huh?
That's a shame. Hold on. Something is coming to me. An idiot may well have gone wandering out in that subarctic night. Your Honor, actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us. Really?
You know someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder?
I don't know for sure if he saw it or not, but there are two things about him that do come to mind. Which are, First, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder.
And the second being?
This individual that I'm thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot you're talking about?
It can only be literally one person.
Larry Butts. I like that. My friend since grade school. I don't remember how we became friends, though. Knowing Larry, it probably was like Miles and Phoenix were friends, and Larry's just like, we're friends now. We're friends. I'm never letting you go. We're friends. Friends. This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc de Leduc's Guide to Obnoxious French Painting. This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim, Elise Donan. Her student. Interesting. And why was he wandering about outside on the night of the murder?
Why did they boot?
Because he's Canadian. That's what he's talking about, eh? Yeah. I can't do a Canadian accent very well, eh?
That almost sounded like the Pokedex. The dumb Pokedex.
Quackanaw.
Yeah.
Hey.
Fucking, a fucking water type. The bite Pokemon. And, I don't know. Feudal, the snapping Pokemon, a water type. When it evolves into Dreadnought. Yeah, right, I don't believe it.
That's... I could tell them all about his designs for Iris. But it may cost us his credibility as a witness, before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was, perhaps, searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him. You know Larry's gonna walk in and immediately be like, Iris didn't do it, I love Iris! And they're gonna be like, oh, okay, so he's biased. Cool. Although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason.
And so, this unfortunate, unreliable man. What exactly was it that he saw?
Hell if I know. I intend to extract that from him, right here in this courtroom.
Are we gonna have to break a Cyclops in the courtroom?
I keep waiting for that to happen. Because, I mean, they give it to us in the evidence.
Yeah.
Summon this youth as a witness immediately.
I have no choice, do I?
I believe he's in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him. Very well, Larry. You may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm going to get everything out of you. The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Miss Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness.
Understood, Your Honor.
Good. Well then, court is now in recess. And by today I'll get it out of you. I mean on Monday I'll get it out of you.
When the judge said court is in recess, I didn't think it would be that big of a recess. Look, now look what you did. My foot is twitching with anger.
Twitchy twitch.
You're lucky I can't use my arms and hands. Or else I would grab this microphone and never let go. You know I would. Heck, wait until that does happen, then you're never gonna have a chance.
Right.
I'll take your computer too.
My computer, not my computer. Why?
And because then you can't end the stream. Because then you can't end the stream.
Oh. I see. Let me just see something.
Can't end the stream without your computer.
Because I'm so nice.
What?
Because I'm so nice. February 9th, 11:15 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1.
Excuse me, Mr. Edwards? I'm not really sure what to say.
Iris, we only have 20 minutes. There are two things which I need to ask you before we reconvene.
Alright. I'll help you when I can.
First, about that night. You really didn't go to the Inner Temple, correct? The last witness claims to have met and talked with you in the training hall. Either you or Sister Bikini is lying.
Mr. Edwards. It is just as you said, as I said yesterday. Until the incident occurred, I was in my room, in Haldekar Temple.
Very well. The second thing, then. That night, the temple snowmobile was used in between the times Sister Bikini returned to the main hall when she bore witness to the murder. Sometime between 10:30 and 11 p.m. that night, were you the one who used the snowmobile?
There's only one key for a snowmobile. The only person who could have used it was me.
So it was you. But why? What made you go out to Dusky Bridge?
I'm sorry, Mr. Edwards.
Oh. Okay. Iris.
I can't tell you about that yet.
Yet?
Not until her safety is confirmed. Her?
She's Dahlia's twin sister! Her? Oh,
The safety of the acolyte.
the acolyte, huh? She must be talking about Maya. Iris, look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Did you kill Elise Doden?
No matter who or what may come, I could never take a life.
As I thought, no psycho locks. Very well. It is my job to get to the truth. You'll discover this for yourself soon enough. February 9th, 11:36 a.m., District Court, Courtroom Number 7. Court will now reconvene. Miss Von Karma, where is the witness?
During a break, a man was detained for suspicious behavior in the gallery.
Suspicious behavior? Yeah, that's Larry.
He was sketching something very intensely.
Dare I ask what the witness was sketching when he was detained?
He drew a terrifying woman, armed with a demonic face and a vicious lip.
Why, I have no idea who that could possibly be. I can only presume that his intention was to capture you. Ah!
Anyway, it's time to drag this pathetic excuse for an artist before the court.
Before the curve.
Maurice, tell him. I hope you're ready. Get in here.
It would seem that whip is going to see plenty more use today. Ouch!
Your sketch is in contempt of court of the story.
Hey! I was just artistically under. Ouch!
You tried to run away from the bailiff. She was trying to hand you your what?
Subpoena.
The
Subpoena is basically a letter that you give someone saying you need to show up in court.
subpoena, correct?
Oh, look! I'm nothing but a fledgling artist training out in the mountains. I'm only down here in the city because I ran out of green paint. Well, to use the technical term for the color, viridian. Larry, this isn't an art store, now is it? I know, I graduated junior high, okay? Look, art is all about working in the fields, isn't it? Working in the fields? I presume you wanted to say field work. I hope. That's it! Thanks, buddy! It's kind of sad that I was able to understand this main train wreck of a sentence. I just happened to stop in here and found a wonderful new model. So see, I've got nothing to do with this trial, at all! I expect all of your faces to be red when you realize this mistake. Bright red. Or, to use the technical term, chartreuse. Or, to use the technical term, Crimson Lake. I almost said crimson, too. Ouch! 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 Ouch!
Stop your pathetic blabbing.
Blabbing.
Blah. Why can I not say blabbing? Intensify like a man.
Refrain from whipping me, Miss Von Karma. Cross-whipping is as bad as cross-checking. Like she's whipping Larry out of anger, and then just starts whipping the judge. He's like, what did I do? Witness, that was all your fault. Testify now. This is too much for me. What I saw. I was at that lodge out in the mountains, looking up at the stars that night. I walked to the bridge a number of times, but I didn't see a snowmobile. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. The girl I was waiting for didn't show up. My teacher died on me. I'm all alone now. Aren't I edgy? Witness, please refrain from talking directly to the lawyers during your testimony. I'm just a nobody. Nothing but a small worthless man, aren't I? And why wasn't I asked for my name and occupation or anything else? Mr. Edgeworth, this man seems to have quite a severe inferiority complex. He's recently been the cause of numerous incidents. I think he's finally realized for himself just how much of a nuisance he has been to other people. Yeah, that's right. I'm behind everything, every case. Watch out, okay? Just touching me will make you eternally unhappy. Well then, let us proceed with the cross-examination. With no touching, thank you. We can delve into other details at a later time. What I saw.
That sounds like Shaggy.
What I saw, man. I was at that lodge out in the mountains, looking up at the stars that night.
Okay, you can stop with the Shaggy voice now.
Nope, I'm giving him a Shaggy voice now.
Whatever is the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? This one single statement is so full of contradictions. For a moment there, I thought I was going to collapse.
So, witness, any idea as to where these contradictions in your testimony lie? Depending on your answer, I may save my whip.
Okay, give me a minute. Well, it was snowing that night, so I couldn't possibly have seen the stars.
Enough with the Shaggy voice.
That rundown shack is hardly a lodge, is it?
Thank you.
And even if the stars could be seen, it isn't like I was there to look at them, right?
Oh my god. Poor Edward.
He's like, I feel Phoenix's pain. My God. I was down at the lodge, looking up at the stars. Actually, I wouldn't call it a lodge. And I was cold. And I didn't see the stars. Also, I wasn't there.
You can do it if you try.
Ouch!
There's only one issue here. What you saw at Dusty Bridge?
I walked to the bridge a number of times, but... A number of times? How many? Maybe 5 times? I went once every 20 minutes. Which means... You spent almost 2 hours at Heavenly Hall that night. You bet! Real love is about waiting with your heart in your hands. Love, you say? It was this man's intention to summon the defendant to the small shack. Using this blackmail letter. Blackmail? No, that was simply a product of overflowing love. Ah! Wow.
I honestly think this is worse than her full asleep voice.
No, I like this one.
You happy puppy Lucy Goosey excuse for a whimpering, whiny voice of a witness.
So, what
Wow.
did you see? I hope for your sake you saw Snowmobile. You huffy puffy loosey goosey excuse for a whimpering, whining wuss of the witness, eh? Well, you see, being called those names doesn't seem to bother him at all. I didn't see a snowmobile.
You kidding me? He's Larry. He's used to it.
Larry, you really didn't see it. Hey, no need to hit your desk. I can hear you. I didn't see it. I didn't see a snowmobile. Larry, say snowmobile for me, please. Snowmobile. If you truly have nothing to hide, then why are you stammering like you just flew over a cuckoo's nest? Shut up! What is this? I don't know. Don't ask me. It seems that I'll need to start from a more obvious contradiction. I'm going to strike the blow that will finally get him to spill the beans. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. You didn't meet anyone. That's right, because I've got nothing to do with this. And I'm just here to buy some Viridian paint, okay? Come on, I expect to see those Crimson Lake faces. Now! It would appear that simply pressing him isn't going to be enough, Miss Redwood. Indeed. Seems like he's going to claim to have nothing to do with this to the end. I don't want this guy to cost us any more time. I need to slice through his obvious contradictions and keep things moving along. So what's the contradiction?
Which one?
So either he was looking up at the stars, he walked to the bridge, he didn't see a snowmobile, he didn't see anyone at the bridge. Which one can we prove he didn't do?
What do you think?
Oh, I know the answer.
Give me a hint.
Well, what did we just prove with Bikini?
Snowmobile?
With this? What did we prove?
That only went one way.
No, I want both ways.
Okay, that someone used it.
Okay. What did we prove with this?
Oh, that there was no snow.
Okay. But earlier, it was snowing.
Okay.
Where's snow come from?
The sky.
Where in the sky? Snow is precipitation.
What?
Snow is precipitation.
No. What?
Precipitation, like rain.
Yeah, the
So
clouds.
where the clouds?
There were no stars. There were only clouds.
What?
No.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't accept that. Well done, Your Honor. What? I was only testing you just now. Well, then why don't you try testing this penalty, too? Looks like I shouldn't have spoken in haste. How's that not the answer? Went to the bridge a number of times. I didn't see a snowmobile.
Wait, you couldn't have walked to the bridge a number of times.
Why not?
It was on fire.
Okay. It wasn't on fire the whole time. It was only on fire for half an hour.
I'm just saying.
Well, you want to try presenting that?
We try. Oh, okay. It was worth a try.
Right?
Like, how can you walk over a bridge that's on fire?
He never said he walked over it.
But,
He walked to it. He's here, and he's saying like 5 times he walked up here, then walked back, then walked up here, then walked back.
why would he do that? Numerous times?
He's waiting for Iris to show up. So he's gonna go, oh, is she here yet? No. Oh, maybe she's here now. No. Okay, so he was looking up at the stars. He walked to the bridge a bunch. He didn't see a snowmobile. And he didn't see anyone at the bridge. Oh, wait. Yeah, he did.
He did?
Well, he saw Phoenix.
Oh,
I don't know if that's the correct answer.
we can try.
Larry Butts. I can understand why you might want to throw your old life away. You're pretty pathetic, and you cause all sorts of trouble. I'm sorry. But, having realized just how much of a nuisance you've been, that could be considered a step in the right direction. Edgy, are you trying to console me? It certainly doesn't sound that way to me. He's like, you're a nuisance and a half, but at least you realize that. Aw, you're trying to make me feel better. I most certainly am not. However, I cannot forgive you for simply turning away from the incidents you create. You're totally putting this on me. Now then, let us talk about the night of the murder. Sister Bikini, after seeing the murder take place, asked Phoenix Wright to report it. Thus, he headed for the public phone by the bridge. There, he happened across a certain nefarious individual. You, Larry Butts. That's right, me in the flesh. Listen carefully, witness. It doesn't matter if you change your name. So long as you remain pretty pathetic, you will continue to cause these incidents. That reality will not change. But what do you want me to do then? Larry, what you need to change is your inner self. But for now, what you saw that night, testifying truthfully about this one issue, is all I need from you. Edgy, I think I've finally woken up.
What do you want?
Well, I guess I could still be sleeping. But anyway, I'll do it. I'll testify. Well, I'm not sure this will go especially well. I'll ask again then, witness. What did you see on the night of the murder?
Touching my pinky.
Touch my pinky.
Touching my pinky.
Meow.
What I saw, part 2. I went to the shack at around 9, so it would have been about 10:30. I was lying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me. I looked at the window and Dusky Bridge was on fire. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. That's when I ran to Nick. You certainly saw quite a lot, didn't you?
So, what happened to the bridge after it caught on fire?
It was like me after a 3-day stint chasing a girl. It totally burnt out. Like, almost totally gone. I mean, trying to cross the burning remains was what caused Nick to fall.
What did you say?
Oh, don't worry. It's nothing life-threatening. He just caught a cold.
I never know what. with them, and if he should be called lucky or unlucky.
Now, Mr. Edgeworth, please commence your cross-examination. I already see the contradiction.
Who?
Mm-hmm. I went to the shack at around 9, so it would have been around 10:30 p.m. What did you do out there in the cold for an hour and a half? Well, if you really must know, I was busy being excited, I guess. Excited? Dare I even ask? I said the meeting time is 10 p.m., right? But I couldn't wait, and I thought she might come early, too. Well, it appears she didn't come at all in the end.
Because they never arranged to meet in the first place, did they?
Shut up! Don't go pick my fond memories apart! Anyway, I was getting a little worried. I thought maybe Iris had lost her way. So every 20 minutes or so, I went out to the bridge. But I didn't see anything particularly suspicious. I didn't have anything else to do, so I went back to the shack to wait for her. I was lying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me. This light was, of course, lightning. Like, kapow! Like a slap from Naomi, honestly. A big bada boom.
Oh, like that?
That's more like a punch from Miranda. Witness, did you actually see the lightning hit the bridge? Well, I was a bit startled by the flash of light, so... I looked out the window, and Dusky Bridge was on fire! Seeing that, what did you do? What do you think? I was burning up as well, from the fire in my heart.
And that's why you went to take a look at the bridge?
Well, to be honest, it was freezing cold, so at first I thought, forget it, I'm not leaving my covers. But it had pretty much stopped snowing, so I don't know, I changed my mind. Not sure I care for the forget it attitude you had at first, Witness. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. You said right away, but exactly how long after the strike was that? The lightning fell, and then the bridge caught on fire, maybe around 5 minutes? I mean, I suddenly thought, gotta go check this out.
How far is this small shack you were in from the bridge?
Hold on. Well, it pretty much stopped snowing. It's about a 5-minute walk. And how did Dusky Bridge look when you got there? Like I had recovered a piece of my childhood. I mean, not even the bonfires kids make during school camping trips can compare. Well, should I press him for a little more info? What's wrong?
Ignore the first one. What do you think?
Let's see why I didn't call someone. Larry, let me ask you one thing. What is it, Edgy? What's with the serious face? Why didn't you call anyone? Huh? What do you mean? Normally, when faced with a towering inferno, one would try and tell someone. There's a public phone right by Dusky Bridge, correct? Well, of course I thought of doing that. So then, let's hear why you didn't. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. A reason. My reason. It isn't that I didn't try to tell anyone. I just didn't have time to, okay? I arrived at the bridge, and Nick showed up less than a minute later. You claim to have arrived at the bridge at the same time as Wright. Yeah! I thought I'd better tell someone about this. But then Nick came up yelling about murder. It totally made me forget about the bridge. The fire was pretty much out by then anyway. What's this feeling? I suddenly have a terrible case of unease.
It was after contacting the police that Phoenix Wright fell from the bridge, correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. More or less. He told me about the burning bridge yesterday. But there's still something that doesn't quite fit. It looks like, despite his change of heart, Larry still isn't telling us the whole truth. I went to the shack at around 9, so it would have been about 10:30 p.m.
I don't know.
Read that out loud.
Eagle Snow Mountain, winter day of February 7th. Snow with occasional lightning strikes. Snow from 7 to 10:50 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of there.
Yeah.
What am I missing here?
Okay. Keep reading.
Lighting from 10 to 11. From 10 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't you have seen more than one lightning strike?
Well, lightning was hitting the whole mountain.
Lightning struck Dusty Bridge at 10:45. Around 30 minutes passed between fire starting and going out.
Mm-hmm. That's when lightning struck Dusky Bridge and set it on fire.
Get out of there. And when did he say it struck?
10:30 p.m. He said at 10:30 he saw a white flash and saw that Dusky Bridge was on fire.
That is false, my friend. Very false.
What?
What?
But it does reveal the What?
I'm so confused. Did I read that wrong?
Did we present on the wrong thing? But that's... So you suddenly thought to check out the bridge. Does this mean that you initially had no intention of doing so? Well, yeah, I guess it does. It was really cold. I didn't really want to go out there. If that's the case, why did you change your mind? I would like to hear your reasoning. In which case, please give testimony to that effect, witness. My reasoning? Okay. Reasoning, is it? I thought I'd never see another chance to see something so big burning. So you decided to go and see what was happening. That's right. We're talking about a massive suspension bridge burning to high heaven. That's not something you see every day. A real specul... Like, really special? Can we really trust a witness who's unable to pronounce spectacle? Life seems to love hitting this poor witness below the belt. Well, my motto is hit life back as hard as I can. Ah!
I'll give you a few hits too, if you'd like. With my whip.
With my whip.
Tell me about the burning bridge. Something doesn't fit.
something new.
Yeah, that. But we can change it, remember? We can have him either say that he never saw something, he'd never see something so big burning. Or that he ran into Phoenix right afterwards. Did you have any ideas?
Ah,
Huh? That's not gonna help.
ow.
What?
Don't press my nose like that.
Oh, I didn't know I was pressing. I'm sorry. Did you have any ideas? Okay, I didn't either. I mean, we know that it's the weather report, right?
Do we?
Yeah? Because he keeps saying 10:30 lightning struck the bridge. No, it struck at 10:45. He got there in 5 minutes, or 10 minutes rather. Okay. That'd be 10:40. That's still before the bridge got hit by lightning. So something's not adding up. And when Nick got there, the bridge was already on fire. We just had to find the right thing to throw the weather report at. Okay. Your very existence being a contradiction. I'm not sure if you can grasp this or not. What the hey, Edgy? You make me sound like some sort of alien. But your testimony is conclusively contradictory. The problem here is time. I've never been the best timekeeper, you know. 3 minutes after Billy leaves on foot, you follow him on your bicycle. How long does it take for you to catch up with him? Terrible, those. This is much more simple. You saw the lightning strike Dusky Bridge, and immediately went to see what had happened. Is this correct? Yeah. Well, I wasted about 5 minutes first, but more or less. I have the weather data from the night of the murder here. According to this, lightning fell at 10:45 p.m. Oh, wait a second!
What?
So he was wrong about it being 10:30 when the lightning struck the bridge. It was actually 10:45. So if he wasted 10 minutes to get to the bridge, he waited 5 minutes, and then it took him 5 minutes to get up to the bridge. What time does that make it?
10:50?
10:55. Because 10 minutes, not 5.
Okay, 10:55 then.
When was the murder?
11?
How did he get there and Phoenix showed up a minute later before the murder even happened? Phoenix wouldn't have come over yet. And it took 15 minutes to get from the main hall to the bridge. Meaning Phoenix would have had to run over half an hour before the murder even took place. You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to Dusky Bridge, meaning you probably got there at around 11 p.m.
That all sounds about right, I guess. And then Nick showed up and did his falling act.
That is impossible.
What do you mean?
11 p.m. is when the murder occurred at Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright was still there in the courtyard. There's no way that Larry could have encountered him at Dusky Bridge at that time.
Figured out right before you, Miles. Ah, excuse me. I have an objection.
You do?
Edgy, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry. I'm Larry Stone and... Ah!
It has not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 p.m.
But that makes sense, though. Because Phoenix fell off the bridge right when it stopped burning, right? And it stopped burning at what time? It started burning at 10:45, and then it went out after half an hour. So what time does that make that?
Hang on. Something? 12:05?
Not quite. No. Time math is hard. So we'll round it. Okay, so 10:45. In order to get to the next hour, which is what comes after 10.
60?
What comes after 10?
11?
Okay. So to get to 11 is how many minutes from 45?
To get to 11, I would say about 25 minutes.
You got to get to what to get to the next hour? 60? So 45 plus what equals 60? 60
Okay.
minus 45. I said 45 minus 45 plus what? You can't say no it doesn't. I didn't say a number.
Oh, I thought you said 1.
Oh, no. So 60 minus 45 or 45 plus something equals 60. Either way. Whichever way works better for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
9 is 45. How many minutes to get to the top?
Can you bring that clock down here?
Yes, I can. So 9 is 45. So it's 60, 15, 30, 45, 60. Like that. So that's 45. How many minutes to get from 45 to the next hour? Here, I'll even do this. It's actually, it's the right time. 10:45. So how many minutes?
Wait, dude.
Yeah. It's 10:45.
On this clock right now.
The 10:45 right now. 10:45 at night right now here, and it's 10:45 there. So, how many minutes to get to 11 o'clock?
I'm just gonna do this the old-fashioned way and count it. How is that helping?
Because each of these is 5.
All right, 5, 10, 15.
15. So, if it takes 15 minutes to get to 11 o'clock, 30 minutes minus 15.
30 minus 15. Wouldn't that be 15?
Yes. So, if it's 11 o'clock and there's 15 minutes left, what time did Phoenix show up?
I'm really bad at reading the
if it's 11 o'clock and there's 15 minutes left.
Oh, 11:15.
And so if it's 11:15 when Phoenix shows up, and it takes 15 minutes to get from the main hall to the bridge, and he left when the murder happened, when was the murder?
11 o'clock.
Just like that, we just proved when the murder took place.
Too bad we don't have that kind of technology yet.
Why can't we show it here?
To the video game. Why can't we show it to the video game? We literally just proved it.
Right? Mom had the same problem when we're playing our game.
Really?
Yeah, she's like, I know how to prove it, but it won't let me tell the game. There we go. Okay.
Is it back to the real time?
Yes.
The sister only said around 11. In which case, it could have been earlier than that. No, it couldn't have. I'm afraid it's impossible, Francisca. Because I just proved it.
Watch your footing there, Miss Franziska von Karma. The slope ahead is slippery. For there is still no way that Wright could have been at Dusky Bridge at 11 p.m.
And why not?
It's clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out. Therefore, the bridge must have been burning until at least 11:15 p.m. Which means, what exactly? Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by the flames that night. In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until after the flames had died down. Larry, you arrived at the bridge at 11 p.m., but Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now then, what happened during these missing 15 minutes?
I feel like I just got brutally woken up by a toilet splashback. I guess I was still sleeping after all. Pinch me.
You totally missed that.
Order! Order!
So there was a missing 15 minutes prior to meeting Phoenix Wright. I hardly see that as much of a problem. As much of a problem.
Yeah, not much of a problem at all.
Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes, and there's a phone right next to it. Why then did you not report the accident? Yes, witness, why didn't you? Were you there simply to watch the bridge burn? And therein lies the problem. For even after the bridge had burnt out, he was still there. Staring into space, this witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty.
That's what it sounds. That's what it sounds like.
But this is Larry we're talking about. And even he is incapable of being so stupid. Which means there has to be a reason for his inaction. He did say he saw something spectacular.
Edgy. I think it's about time I got serious with you, dude.
Just as I thought, you've been playing with us all this time.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all?
Yes.
I may really say it this time. Everything.
Then say it.
Very well. I have a terribly bad feeling about this, however. Let's have the witness finally give us the whole truth. Now, for this 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness?
I'm honestly scared.
The missing 15 minutes. I'm a donor. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized it, the flames had gone out and then he came running out.
I suppose artists can be strange folk.
That's right. I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch.
Including the truth from the sound of it. Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts? Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains. And what would that be? This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him.
You'll regret this, Edgy. I'm a donut. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing?
Tell us, Larry.
My name is Maurice. Get it right. Mistakes like that are what keep me from being popular with the ladies like I am.
Just who exactly are you?
I'm Maurice Stoner, apprentice extraordinaire.
That's what he calls himself in any case. Then you are an artist?
Of course, I'm an artist, the real thing.
Yet again, that's what he calls himself.
Names mean nothing. There's only one issue I can't discuss. What were you doing?
That is a very big issue indeed.
Sketching in front of the bridge, I was whipped up into a frenzy of art.
Sketching? The burning bridge?
The burning bridge and everything that came with it.
He saw something.
What? Came with it? You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this. That sketch of mine is... Gah!
Enough. Just take the ridiculous sketch of yours out. It's already witnessed.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean.
That does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth. What should I do? I've got a terrible feeling that the instant the sketch is revealed, the entire world may be changed by what's depicted there.
We have to, yeah.
Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please.
Well, well. Even I couldn't have imagined it'd turn out like this.
Imagine what?
It's gonna be stupid, isn't it?
Now, Louis Stoneham's debut would take place here today like this. Ouch!
Show it now.
Okay, but steel yourselves. This is the world of Louis Stoneham.
What is that?
Well, so this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Karma.
Yes. Well, it's a better drawing than I expected.
Isn't it? Isn't it? I struggled to reproduce those flames. I really did.
Yes, I'm sure you did. Is anyone going to mention it? This is going to get ugly.
Yeah, but
No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems.
it's a little flaming person.
This mysterious flying object. Larry,
What?
the burning bridge is fine. But what is that unfortunate looking figure?
Not you spotted that? I thought you might.
However much I might want to ignore it, I can't.
It's Iris, of course. Iris!
She was on fire?
I wish she'd take better care of herself. We have to plan for our future, you know. What would have happened to her if she'd injured herself flying like that?
Larry, please, answer this next question honestly.
Okay,
Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames?
yep, that's what I saw.
So,
What?
remember when I said that they stabbed the victim and then flung her up? They flung her a little bit too far, and she flew over the bridge.
What? That's why I drew it. I'm an artist, a real artist.
Hi? The girl. She's really high up in this picture.
That is not what they were saying.
Wah! What was that for?
This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek just to test that theory.
Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly.
Actually, there's some
Precedent.
precedent for this.
Yeah, there is.
What?
People flying. Franziska von Karma being the prosecutor.
I'm sure you must know what I'm talking about, darling.
No. Oh.
She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She was about 30 feet above the bridge at least. It was really something to see. 30 feet over the bridge? What?
This has to be some kind of mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witness back down to earth.
What? Me?
This witness is your friend, is he not?
Accessory to foolishness. Miles Edward.
Let us get back to the cross-examination, by force if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Looks like I've got another reason to remember this moron.
Well, what do you think of my debut piece?
Get that thing away from me! Horrible sketch of what he saw the night of the crime. Now, hurry up and cross-examine him.
I'm a donim. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge, I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. I saw Iris flying, her white hood fluttering. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized it, the flames had gone out and then he came running up.
I see it.
Yeah? Where?
Right there.
Yeah?
What white hood?
The one that she was wearing? Oh, right.
Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care.
In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you a whole dollar that is the truth.
If that is truly the case, then there's one thing that we can say for certain. What might that be? That the person who flew over the bridge was not Iris. Could not have been the defendant Iris.
What? What do you mean? I don't understand. Ah!
Not again. A foolhardily folly, a foolish statement by an equally foolishly foolhardy fool. How exactly can you make this claim?
Tell us, Larry. According to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct?
Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris, and Iris is my darling hood. Ah!
It seems there are bigger fools in this world than the one at the defense bench.
Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight.
I get it. Do you?
Yes, I get it.
Yeah.
Phoenix.
No, not what I was getting.
Oh, yeah.
Wright? Wright brothers? Do you know who the Wright brothers are? They created the first airplane.
Oh,
Yeah. Down in 1902 in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. So the Wright brothers took flight. Wright took flight. What are you talking about?
I get it.
Yeah.
I think you understand what I mean just fine.
Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood?
What? He's like, so you were incorrect. It was not Iris that flew. Because Iris had given the hood to Phoenix.
What? Are you saying...
Yes, that's right. It wasn't
Phoenix had Iris's hood? Why would she give it to him?
What?
Angie, what's going on with Iris and Nick? Why you, Nick? You dog!
I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited and discarded, straight into the garbage.
What is it now, witness?
It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Edgy, today's the day I get to completely stupefy you.
What? What's the meaning of your outburst, witness?
I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence.
Definitive.
Evidence?
Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge. And I, Larry Stoneham, shall prove it.
I am suddenly terrified.
I didn't expect to ask this again. We shall be needing your testimony once again.
I'm suddenly terrified.
Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in the sketch, and show us your evidence that this Wright nightmare was actually a reality.
Okay, I hope you're ready, Edgy. Because I'm gonna feed you a whopping serving of pain!
You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time. Trust me.
Proof that Iris flew! When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led to me finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night.
A crystal sphere?
This one. Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers.
That's here. Where did you find it?
Let me see. Around here somewhere? Looks about right.
And it was half buried in the snow.
It pretty much stopped snowing by then. But there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge.
The court accepts this crystal sphere.
That's mine, okay? I want it back afterward.
There's something on it. Oh my, it's blood. What? Blood? Found half buried, half covered in snow near Dusky Bridge the night of the crime. Has blood on it.
You ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning, you'll be calling me Master Larry. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's gonna push me around anymore.
Didn't you want to be called Larice Donim just a few minutes ago?
So at least I know where the spear went.
Right?
When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone.
So you went to the burning bridge.
That's right, to meet Iris. She actually flew to get to me. The least I could do was meet her halfway.
But the defendant was not at the bridge when you got there, you said.
I guess she went back to Hazakura Temple. She's a girl after all. She must have wanted to look her best.
It must be lovely to live in the fantasy land of Larry's mind. Actually, so depressing that I can't even work up the energy to point. So, what did you do next?
I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her.
So you searched all over for her?
She was flying pretty high, you know. I thought maybe she slipped on her landing and got hurt. Hey, it was more than possible. Also, when I headed out to the shack the first time, I was snacking on a banana. I was pretty sure I threw the peel away somewhere around there, so, you know.
Can one guy really be this stupid? So, did you find any signs of her so-called landing?
I don't really remember. I kept on falling over myself and kind of lost it for a while there.
You fell over yourself?
Yeah, the snow was deep, and there was even a banana peel out there.
Yep, there's stupid, and then there's Larry Bunce. The short of it is that you didn't find any signs of her landing, correct? Then what happened next?
That led to me finding a beautiful crystal sphere half buried in the snow.
Half buried.
It was sitting in the snow with a little gather on top of it. It was very hard to spot, actually. I mean, it was dark out, too.
I'm impressed. You did well to find it.
No matter what you may think when you look at me, I'm a pro. A genius security guard. I used a pen light I borrowed from my company to help in my search. And it sparkled really brightly, as if it was saying, "Here I am," to me.
It does indeed look very much like the crystal sphere on Iris's hood. But need I remind you that she was not wearing her hood that night?
I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood.
Each nun is assigned their own hood, and they're assigned only one.
I don't know anything about that, okay? And Iris is special, alright, dude? You know she did steal a spare hood. I'll forgive her.
This is getting us nowhere. Our destination for the day, it seems. However, this crystal sphere was found near the bridge. That is a fact. If it didn't come from the hood, where could it have come from? That is the question I aim to answer.
After all, no one else could have lost the crystal sphere that night.
Let me confirm this one last time, Larry. The reasons you thought that this was Iris are the hood in this crystal sphere, correct?
That's right. My gut is never wrong. I met that old bikini the next morning, and her crystal sphere was still there, safe and sound.
Indeed. She was wearing it in this very room earlier today. This case isn't going to end without a fight. The stories and the obvious contradictions in this testimony will be easy. But I fear that all that awaits us are further mysteries. Did you notice the
I
contradiction?
know what it is.
Alright. Which one?
Very last one. Evidence. Now, should I present the staff or the picture? Or the profile?
I don't know. Pick one.
I'm gonna go with the staff. First try, baby.
Larry. That night, there was someone who lost a crystal sphere.
There was? Who? Who was a stupid idiot?
Miss Elise Donin, the mentor to a stupid idiot.
The victim?
Did Larry witness the murder? Because remember, if she was flying up high, she'd have to come down, right? Meaning the bruises from her falling. I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar-looking crystal sphere.
Hey! That's my photograph. Give it back! Ouch!
A crystal sphere like that. It's quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch.
No, you don't. They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff found at the scene of the crime. Ah! The crystal sphere! It's gone!
What? 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 What?
Just what does this mean? If anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris. After all, she was not wearing her hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either. That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Elise Donin?
Here we go again. Okay, I think that a fool alongside another fool on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus is rejected.
You can't do that. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
And this crystal sphere. This is nothing more than a red herring.
You honestly believe that?
Give it some thought. And I'm sure you'll realize it as well. Smile, Edward. I keep wanting to say Mr. Edward.
Right.
Everyone else does it. Ellie Stoneham was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go into Dusty Bridge. Therefore, the sphere cannot be related to the case. That is all.
Miss Franziska von Karn. The only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns. Why are you pointing at me? The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of her murder. Yet you expect us to believe this has nothing to do with the case.
That crystal sphere. It was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder.
After the murder?
There's blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent. Which is the exact same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch.
What? You mean I'm the killer? No way!
All joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case.
She makes a valid point. There's no evidence that Elise Stoneham left Hazakura Temple that night. However, somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed. Then this case is going to transform into something else entirely. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. I want your final opinion on the disposition of the crystal sphere. If it is not related to the case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time.
Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth.
Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place?
Can we?
I can't think of a way we can. But if we don't prove it, then we're gonna be punished.
Okay then.
Can I prove it? That isn't the issue. Simply prove it. That's the only option. That's what he'd do. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I'll prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case. You will do what?
That look in your eyes. You remind me of Phoenix Wright when he is cornered.
That should come as no surprise. Because right now I am Phoenix Wright and I am indeed cornered. I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder.
Question.
Yeah.
Is the staff in this picture
No.
Dang it. I don't know. Go back to that picture. Why does it stay on the side?
Special.
The S is probably cut out.
Yeah. Any ideas?
Ah, I wish Sora was here.
Yeah, he had to go to sleep early. He was feeling sick.
Ah. Again, it's probably something extremely obvious, but we're too dumb to realize it.
Okay, so let's walk through it. So we have to prove. So let's think outside. Think of it backwards, like Mia always tells us. Instead of thinking a way to prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder, think of it that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder. So what would that mean? If it was dropped before the murder, what would that cause? Half covered in snow, dusty bridge, night of the crime, has blood on it. So we proved that the sword that's the Shichido was not used to kill, meaning it was a different murder weapon. Meaning that she already would have been dead by the time that sword showed up. But if she's already dead, then no more blood's gonna come out. Which would explain why there would be blood on it, but it's in a different spot. Which would mean that she was actually murdered over at the bridge. But there's no blood anywhere in the snow. Unless she was murdered on the other side of the bridge. Because no one can get over there. So if she was murdered on the other side of the bridge, there could be a blood stain right there on the other side of the bridge and no one would know.
Because we can't get over there.
Exactly. And then that would explain why we would see her flying. Because if she's murdered over there, and then she's flung or
dropped her. I don't know.
Yeah, someone
Something.
flung her for some reason. Maybe they were trying to throw the body into the river.
Maybe they were. Maybe they were
And
trying
then-
to throw the body in the river and they missed.
Terribly.
And they went, crap. So they ran over the bridge and then went, the bloodsstain's back there. We got to get rid of the evidence. Burn the bridge. No, the bridge burned on its own. So that was just lucky.
Yeah, that was just lucky.
And then they grabbed her and dragged her off. But they missed the orb.
Yeah, they couldn't throw her in the bridge now because the bridge is on fire. We're like right there. I can feel it. We're onto something. We're onto something here.
So what proves... The only thing I can think of that proves that the orb wasn't there when the murder took place is the orb itself.
The orb itself?
Yeah. Because of where the orb was, the fact it's got blood on it, in fact that it's nowhere near here.
Are we gonna look this up?
I'm going to cross my fingers.
Do you cross mine?
The crystal sphere, it was half buried in the snow, correct? And if the murder took place at 11 o'clock, after the snow stopped, how would there be snow on top of it?
Oh, help.
That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing, then it would have been a game over. The snow would have totally covered it. That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear. What? When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing, even if it was ever so slightly.
Knowing?
On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there's no snow on the victim's body. Ah! Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder.
But what?
We totally, stumbled into that.
We got lucky.
Order! 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 On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge. And there, something occurred that caused the staff's crystal sphere to come loose. What? What could that have been? The sphere. There's some blood on it, isn't there? It was a sign of the struggle. She freaking whacked him!
Well, if you had a giant, staff that's almost as tall as you and made out of very hard wood with a pretty hard gem on it, wouldn't you smack somebody that was attacking you with it?
Oh yeah. The only thing is the fact that she was stabbed from behind.
Still.
Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge.
The murder didn't take place in the Azakura Temple courtyard. And in the real. Only a fool would suggest such foolish piece of absolute foolishness.
Just who is the fool? Which part is so foolish, Miss Montgomery?
Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Lyle Beckler? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard.
No. That's not exactly true, now is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body.
That's the same thing. No, it's not.
No, it's not. No, it isn't. You said it yourself.
at the moment of a play's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the play is removed.
If that statement isn't true, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding.
You are forgetting one vital thing, Miles Edward. Ellie Stone's body was found in Havikor Temple. On foot, it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Havikor Temple. Yes, but how long does it take to get there on a snowmobile?
Oh!
You mean to suggest someone carries the body all that way?
I've made it this far. The only place to take this is to the end. I just need to prove that my version of the offense is also perfectly plausible. Now, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation. Please show us the method by which the victim's body was carried to Asgore Temple.
Gladly, Your Honor.
On that snowy night, there's one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile.
Ah,
As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon. But that's not true.
it was being used to dispose of the body.
Yeah. But it could have also been used to carry a body. Order! 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 Ah!
This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edward. You've dug yourself into your own grave.
What do you mean?
The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defense. She's the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put the final nail in the coffin?
You're too late, Franziska von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We've shown that this case requires further investigation.
What?
Where was the victim Elise Stoneham really killed? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean?
Do you even need to think about that? Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it.
This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity.
Thanks, Edgy. Wait.
However, he could never utter a lie that would hurt a girl with whom he's enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point.
Edgy, thank you.
That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances. Right. I seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It is just as I thought. Franziska von Karma, you make a wonderful partner.
Excuse me?
There's one reason and one alone for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case, and then pass it on to Wright.
Really? That's what this was all about? You could have just told me that from the very beginning. Then I wouldn't have had Frenzy whipping me out.
Miles Edward. I don't care about what you are here to do. This was my chance to finally grind you under my heel.
A shame that your chance seems to have slipped you by.
What a shame, Frenzy!
This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. What?
Ouch!
What'd you say?
She just keeps on talking. She's ticked.
She said, this is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. You are an affront to all the legal system stands for.
You're in front of all the legal system stands for.
I demand satisfaction.
I demand satisfaction.
I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the questions it raises. Have his words here today been the truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I'm counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution. And with this, the rest is up to you, Wright. Court is now adjourned.
It's okay. I'm happy. We can do investigating next time. Because I'm getting tired.
Tired. Outro.
Okay, guys, that's all we have time for today. But we'll be back to do some more investigating. Some thorough investigating, apparently. Which is good, because I'm tired. My brain doesn't really want to do much anymore.
Mhm.
So, yes. We'll see you next time for some more. We hope to see you then, so bye, guys!
Farewell.